Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Merry Christmas from me, Cornell B / DJ Cornell B, with the Imps View podcast show with me, Cornell B, back again with another video. And today I'm previewing Lincoln City versus Bolton Wanderers, and obviously speaking on Derby versus us as well, reflecting from that game and other things as well to do with all Lincoln City. First of all, I want to say thank you very much to the 458 subscribers who have subscribed to me into channel. Keep on smashing your likes, keep on leaving comments, and leaving your thoughts and opinions in the comments box as well. Love to get it up to 459. It'll be very, very appreciated. So let's get into it. So obviously, tomorrow, us Lincoln City are playing Bolton Wanderers at home. I gotta be honest. We are still ninth in the table. We've won 8 games. We've drawn 8. We've lost 7. So, optimistically, us Lincoln City can obviously look forward to tomorrow's game because obviously with the controversy that's going on with our lack of quality in the final third, it obviously still goes on. McCarmer getting stick as he's always getting stick because obviously it's hard for him to do a lot of things up front, and at the age of 19 he's still young. He's still a player that will really do well throughout the process and probably even go on to achieve greater things and probably even go on and get a loan spell. But obviously, this week we played against Derby. Obviously, it's Christmas Day, so we don't play till tomorrow. But it's always good to reflect on Derby versus us Imps. I'd like to talk about that, obviously. That game, obviously, we lost 3-1 to a very good Derby side who are now third in the table. They were sixth in the table, and they've gone up to third after their 3-1 win against us. I gotta be honest, positives to take away from that game was that I love the way that we pressed them. I love the way we got out the defense. I love the way we created chances. We kept our shape in that game and really gave it a massive goal before the 25th, 26th minute. Everything changed when Conor Holderain scored. Obviously, they conceded a penalty. We scored it. Danny Mandroyu, brilliant pass from Barabas. O'Connor got into the box, got tripped up in the box. Mandroyu takes it, bang, into the net, 1-1, and then we're guns blazing. We're running the show. We're having the possession of the ball like we always do when we score or even when we're winning. And then half time we take it to 1-1, and then obviously an improved second half, and then after that, then everything turns the other way. We concede from a set piece. We go 2-1 down, and then obviously the dominance of Derby showed that Derby showed why they are where they are in the table, and then killed it off with the third goal, obviously. And I mean, although I think their third goal was offside, to be honest, and I think like loads of people were commenting, why why was why did Adelican come on? Obviously, Duffy coming on, Vale coming on as well, Rowan coming on as well. I mean, look, let's get one thing straight. Derby are the side to beat this season, and I think they will become the second half of the season. I think fair play to them on beating us 3-1. We were just dead born flat, and we didn't have the best. We had a horrendous performance. But like I said, um, us Lincoln City can look forward then backwards, and obviously it's that game. Obviously, it would have been nice to get a point out of that game and probably even get a point in tomorrow's game against Bolton. But look, the better team won, and that's the reason why Derby are third in the table and we're still ninth in the table. Yes, we're 5 points off the playoffs, but obviously the biggest talk right now is the final third. And right now, you can clearly see that us Lincoln City need a striker in January. And I won't be surprised if it's going to be a short-term deal striker or a loan striker or a permanent striker. And I think, like obviously, I was reading a thread yesterday on Twitter yesterday, and big up Matt Fenton on his thread yesterday on talking about the recruitment plan for January for Lincoln City, for us Lincoln City, on what players we should target and what players we should target for the future. I mean, obviously, it's going to be one or two players, prospects for the future that has a future here with us, Lincoln City. There might be one or two players that are probably are going to leave Lincoln City in January. I think the likes of Adelican and Shadipo could be one of those that leaves Lincoln City and goes on to another club and go and plays for another club and get the playing time they deserve. I won't be surprised if we see Makama go out on loan, but I think Makama just needs the opportunity to really relish himself. And I think he's 19 years of age. Of course, I know he's not scoring goals, and I know he's been getting into good spaces, and it's been created on the plate. And sometimes you think, well, he should finish it or he should score, and but obviously he's showing his ability on the ball, and he's showing what impact he can make as a player. And I feel the stick that he's been getting, I think, is just unbelievable. But obviously, look, people is entitled to give their own views and their own opinions. So you've obviously us as fans have to really, really like respect that and respect other people's opinions. But obviously, the talk of it all is a striker. Do we need a striker? Yeah, we do, because we need two new strikers in January. Like I'm excited for Jack Moylan is going to be made available for selection for January 2nd. Obviously, he's coming on January 1st. Obviously, some will say that it's a little bit too soon for him to play against Blackpool. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays against Blackpool. I would not be surprised, even though they said that after the international clearance, according to Jez George, that he might play after that, according to Jez George. But like I said, Jack Moylan is not the only one that's going to solve our problems in the second half of the season. Obviously, there's talk about Jack Vale, who could be on the verge of probably even being recalled back to Blackburn, and we might get a replacement for Jack Vale. I wouldn't be surprised if we do, because obviously I think it's Skabala's style of play that obviously he's not like that used to. And I'm not saying that when it was Kennedy or whatever, it was a different scenario. But I think even if we had Mark Kennedy still, I don't think McCann would have played. I think McCann would have gone out on loan. But obviously, and the same thing for TJ Olmo would have been struggling for game time. But since Skabala's come in, he's just absolutely changed. He's got back to the TJ that we know that he can be. But obviously, big up Skabala for that. And also as well, I'll probably would say we need two strikers in this team. We need a short term deal striker, and we need a loan striker, and obviously bring in players on for the future. Because if we're going to be in the top six, which we are going to be in the top six come the end of the season, we need an experienced striker on a short-term deal who can score goals, get the best out of our team, and get us up the table and finish in a good, fantastic position come the end of the season. Because the possible ones that I've seen on threads, like of Clark Harris, Lee Gregory, Freddie Lapro, I think are very good options. But I think if you erase Lapro and Gregory out of it, the first person on that list that would really look so much better in an imp shirt is Clark Harris. I would love to see Clark Harris at Lincoln City on a short-term deal, even though we know we won't be able to afford him, and we won't be able to buy him on a permanent. We were the same thing with John Marquis. We brought John Marquis into the fold, and John Marquis, obviously, his goals kept us up in League One under Michael Appleton when Michael Appleton was our manager. But obviously, the team that we would look under Clark Harris would be unbelievable. Not only that, he would inspire the young players that we have in our team, because the young players we have got the quality, but we're lacking in the final third, and that's the reason why I think Skabala needs to go guns blazing in January and say, look, we know we need a striker, we know we need one or two strikers to come into Lincoln City to cover Ben House, to cover Tyler Walker, because until they come back, then we're going to be rocking come the second half of the season. Yeah, we all know Moylan can play as a centre forward. He can play left wing. He can play right wing. So we know all about Jack Moylan. Winger wise, we need two wingers in January. And I'm being honest. We cannot be waiting for Rico to come back. I'm happy that Rico is on the grass training as hard as he can to get back onto the pitch, and I'm sure the medical staff are really working hard to get him back fit again, so we can see the very best of Rico Hackett, because we ain't seen a lot optimistically, and Rico Hackett really produces when he's on the pitch, and when he and Mandroy link up together, it's totally different. So I would like to see maybe a few, maybe two wingers replace Shadipo and Adelican, likes of maybe Pavida, Taylor Richards on a loan deal. Possibly Chem Campbell would also be a good one as well. And never say never on Roman Curtis on a free. I think there's possibilities of which wingers to come in for Lincoln City Football Club. Midfield, obviously, I think midfield is obviously the place that we would need to strengthen as well, because obviously we all know Smith is preferred position is playing in midfield. Bishop is the same thing. Bishop is not a winger, but obviously when you are a footballer, you've got to be versatile in playing in positions that maybe you don't want to be playing in. But obviously we need a midfield, and I think somebody like Callum Slattery, who's playing for Motherwell, who's played like 100 games for Motherwell, would fit that category. Not just only him as well. Keanu Baracus would also be a good one, and I feel like looking at him would be the possibility as well. Obviously, Ireland, obviously, Ofalabi. Ofalabi is also a possible one. Ali Coote is also one. Jordan Flores is a possible one, and Bresson as well. Do we need a left wing back? There's a possibility we do, because obviously we got Boribas playing on the left, and Brown, the option of Brown, obviously. I think looking at Breslin as well from the League of Ireland would be an option as well that us, Lincoln City and Skabala, I think, should really have a look at as well. Defence, obviously, centre back, we're all right. Obviously, we'll have 6 centre backs when Monsima comes back, so maybe we don't need a centre back to come in. But like I said, I think there are a few 2 3 areas in our team that I feel that Skabala needs to really improve come January, because obviously we're in the top 9 for a reason, and we're 5 points at the playoffs, and I do feel like we need to be challenging for the top 6 and finishing the top 6 and going up the football period, because we've been in League One for 5 seasons, and we can't be affording to have a 6th, 7th, 8th or more season in League One. We need to be going places. We need to be testing ourselves in the Championship. We need to be going one step higher and being positive. I know, yes, maybe the optimism has like faded away since the Cowley brothers have gone, and obviously we've had previous managers like Appleton and Kennedy come in, and it's been the first half of the season's been great, and then the next bit, we've overachieved expectations. But obviously, us Lincoln City deserve to go further this year, and to go so far. So I think those are the improvements that I'd like to see us Lincoln City do in January and really take it further. But if we were to sign Clark Harris or Lee Gregory on a short-term deal, which looks kind of likely, we're going to bring in a short-term deal striker, I think top 6 will be ours for sure with Clark Harris or Lee Gregory in January. But I won't be surprised if we go after Clark Harris in the this January. It would not be surprising. So, obviously, that's my reflection of Derby and obviously what I'd like to see happen in the transfer window. Obviously, tomorrow is Lincoln City versus Bolton. Obviously, I'm going to be interested to see what the lineup is going to be. Are we going to see Shadipo make his impact on tomorrow? Are we going to see Dylan Duffy make his impact tomorrow with Mandroyu? I think all these questions are going to be asked. Are we going to see Jaden Brown play tomorrow against Bolton? I'll be very interested to see what team he puts out against Bolton, because Bolton are second in the table. They've got some very good players. I watched their game this week. Obviously, when they won 3-2 against Leyton Orient, they destroyed Leyton Orient. Obviously, brilliant goals in that game. So there are some players in there that I think we have to, be very, very wary of, and I'm sure Scabala and the players will be doing their homework on how to stop them and things like that. Obviously, look, work hard for the point. Work hard. I think we'll get a point out of this game. And I think if we can get a point out of it, I think it shows that we can still keep our grip on the top 6 this season, going into the second half of the season. Obviously, Bolton are a very good side. And I think, obviously, we played them away, which was the first game of the season. And they absolutely murked us at their ground at the University of Bolton Stadium. We got absolutely slapped up on that on the first day of the season against Bolton. This will be properly different, and I feel like the players are going to go for it from the start. Hurt them on the counter attack, make them work, keep the shape like you did against Derby, Obviously creating chances and keep getting in spaces and opening up their defense and keeping their best players quiet and putting everything on the line, putting bodies on the line, putting tackles, winning tackles in the midfield and the defense, and obviously in the final third. Yeah, we all know we're lacking in the final third. We all know that we need to strengthen in the final third. We all know that, but obviously this game is a massive, massive game. And if we can get a point, or even better, get a win out of it, it would be fantastic to coming towards the end of 2023. So I would love it if we get a point, or even better, 3 points out of that game. Who do I think the team should that Skabala should line up tomorrow? I would say Jensen, Sorensen, O'Connor, Jackson, of course, Mitchell at the back. Although I think TJ Ulmer needs to play in this game, because I think the performances of TJ Ulmer has just been outstanding, and it's just been brilliant to see. So I would love to see TJ Ulmer play on Saturday against Bolton, and really carry on that amazing form that Ulmer's been doing this season. So it won't be surprising if Ulmer's obviously added into starts alongside O'Connor and Jackson. Barabbas, obviously, although I'd love to see Brown get an opportunity tomorrow and really show what he's got. Midfield, the two Ethans in midfield, of course, are on, and Hamilton. Definitely Mandroyu on the right, and obviously I'd like to see Vale play up front, obviously, to be honest. But I think the more times Makama does play, I think the more improved that I do think he's going to be. And it is hard to play up front on your own, but I think Makama's probably going to start. But I won't be surprised. I will not be surprised if Vale starts tomorrow. So I won't be surprised if that happens. I do think as well that I think it's a toss up between Duffy and Shadipo. I would like to see Shadipo play on Saturday, tomorrow, sorry, because I think if he is gonna go, I think he should leave with his head held high. And I think this game and the Northampton game coming up, I think would be the game that I would like to see Shadipo play. So I won't be surprised if Shadipo plays tomorrow, but I have a feeling that probably Bishop is going to play on the left. Um, Optimistically, I wouldn't be surprised if Bishop plays there. But obviously, this is a chance and an opportunity for the fringe players to really showcase their ability, and just take the opportunity while you still can. Don't give up in making your impact known and showing Skobala why you want to play for this club and why you want to keep your place at Lincoln, because obviously Skobala is making his plans already with the recruitment board, and obviously there'll be new faces coming on loan, new faces coming on permanent. So it's gonna be interesting in the next couple of days what happens from now till January, when the transfer window opens. But I do think I will not be surprised if Duffy or Shadipo play on the left. But I think if it was me, I'd rather play Shadipo on the left, to be honest, and give Shadipo the run that he deserves, because obviously he's on a short-term deal until January, and obviously he's going to be gone and probably going to be a free agent once again. So it wouldn't be surprising. But obviously, I will. I that's my starting 11 for tomorrow against Bolton Wanderers, and I do feel like there's a point in this game to be earned, and I feel like we can earn that point and really, really set our massive grip on the top six this season. And with new recruitments, new faces added, and when Skabala brings improvement back to Lincoln City, we are so going to be up there. And if Clark Harris is to sign for Lincoln City, or Lee Gregory, or even Mateo Joseph on loan, or even Jonathan Ofalabi on a permanent deal, I'm still welcoming any of them to come to Lincoln City. And whoever else comes in, a Pavida or a Roman Curtis or a Taylor Richards or a Jordan Shipley or even a Callum Stuttery or a Kiana Baracus to Lincoln City, or whoever, Lewis Bate on loan, I'm not fussed. As long as we can go into this game tomorrow and the Northampton Town one and get 3 points out of it, or even better, get a point out of it, and show we can show the resilience and show the fighting and the never say die attitude going into this game, and keep on showing that you care and giving your all to your game, because obviously it's not just me you got to prove to. I'm excluding myself out of it, but obviously the other Imps fans that don't really have um an optimism, show them why, and prove them wrong tomorrow. And tomorrow is the best game to do that. Thank you so much for watching the Imps View podcast show. This is me doing my reflection of Derby versus Lincoln, um, previewing Lincoln City versus Bolton, and talking transfers on who I'd like to see Lincoln City sign in January. Thank you very much for watching the Imps View podcast show. Keep on smashing your likes and leaving your comments and your opinions and telling me what you think is going to happen tomorrow and who would you like to see Lincoln City sign in January, and also your reflection, your match reflection of us Lincoln City versus Derby, where we had lost 3-1. Thank you very much. Love to get it up to 459. It'll be very, very appreciated. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to everybody, and have a very, very good day. Thank you very much. Up the Imps.